and the whispering woods beckon. The phone screen dims beside your pillow, that final email sent into the digital void. Your body sinks deeper into the mattress, yet your mind continues its restless patrol of tomorrow's battlefields. The weight you carry doesn't simply vanish when you close your eyes, does it? It settles differently in the darkness, transforming from the sharp edges of urgent decisions into something more persistent, more haunting. But tonight, I invite you to step away from that familiar burden. Close your eyes and imagine yourself not in your bedroom, but standing at the edge of something far older than quarterly reports or market projections. Before you stretches an ancient forest, its towering trees disappearing into a canopy so dense that only whispers of moonlight find their way through. You are a traveler here, weary from a journey that has tested every fiber of your resolve. Your clothes are dusty from long roads, your shoulders aching from the pack you've carried mile after mile. Sound familiar? The metaphor isn't accidental. This is the forest that exists at the boundary between the world of endless doing and the realm of simply being. The air here tastes different, cleaner. It carries the scent of moss and earth, of leaves that have fallen and returned to nourish new growth. There's something else too, something you can't quite name. It's the absence of that electric tension you've grown so accustomed to carrying. The forest doesn't know about your inbox. It has never heard of market disruption or growth metrics. It simply is. You stand at what appears to be a wall of green. Massive oak trees, their trunks wider than your outstretched arms could encompass, stand sentinel beside graceful birches whose silver bark catches what little light penetrates this threshold space. Ferns unfurl at their bases like ancient scrolls, and somewhere in the distance you hear the gentle murmur of running water. But it's the sound that draws you deeper, or perhaps the sounds, because this forest whispers, not with human voices, but with something far more fundamental. The rustle of leaves speaks in a language older than words. The creak of branches carries wisdom accumulated over centuries. Even the silence between these sounds seems pregnant with meaning. You take a step forward, then pause. The leader in you, the part that has learned to calculate risk and weigh consequences, hesitates at this threshold. What lies beyond these trees? What commitments might you be making by entering? Your rational mind catalogues the unknowns, just as it does when you're considering a new market or evaluating a partnership. But there's another voice now, quieter, almost forgotten. It's the voice that once knew how to wander without destination, how to explore without agenda. It remembers what you felt like before you learned to armor yourself with productivity and purpose. This voice whispers a simple truth. Sometimes the most important journeys begin when we stop trying to control the destination. As you stand there, caught between the familiar weight of responsibility and this invitation to something unknown, the forest seems to respond to your hesitation. A gentle breeze stirs the leaves, and you notice something you hadn't seen before. There, between two ancient oaks, a path reveals itself. Not carved by human hands, but worn smooth by countless other travelers who have stood exactly where you stand now. The path is narrow, barely wide enough for one person, and it curves away into the green shadows so that you cannot see where it leads. Moss grows along its edges, soft and inviting. Small stones, worn smooth by time and weather, mark its gentle contours. It's the kind of path that doesn't demand to be followed. It simply offers itself as a possibility. You find yourself drawn forward, one foot placed carefully on the mossy stones. The forest floor yields slightly beneath your step, not with the harsh finality of concrete, but with the gentle give of living earth. Another step, then another. With each footfall, something shifts inside you. The invisible weight you've carried for so long doesn't disappear, but it begins to redistribute, as if the forest itself is helping you carry it. The path winds deeper, and you notice how the light changes. Where you entered, it was the stark illumination of your everyday world. Here it becomes something softer, more golden. Shafts of sunlight filter through the canopy in cathedral rays, each one illuminating dancing motes of pollen and possibility. The harsh fluorescent urgency of your office seems like something from another lifetime. 20 paces along the path, then 50. You lose count as you lose yourself in the rhythm of walking. Your breathing slows, matching the unhurried pace the path seems to encourage. There's no rush here, no schedule to maintain. For perhaps the first time in months, you move at the speed of your own natural rhythm rather than the relentless tempo of external demands. The whispers grow stronger as you walk deeper, not louder, stronger. You begin to distinguish different voices in the forest's chorus. The deep, patient murmur of the oaks speaks of endurance, of weathering storms that would break lesser trees. The lighter song of the birches tells of flexibility, of bending without breaking when the winds of change blow fierce. Even the smallest plants add their voices, the quiet determination of moss that transforms bare rock into fertile ground, one microscopic victory at a time. These are the voices of things that have learned to thrive not by conquering their environment, but by finding their place within it. The forest doesn't fight the seasons, it flows with them. It doesn't resist change, it transforms change into growth. There's wisdom here that your strategic mind recognizes, even as your weary soul simply drinks it in. The path curves once more, and suddenly you find yourself at the edge of a clearing. Your breath catches. Before you spreads a perfect circle of grass, so green it seems to glow with its own inner light. Ancient trees form a natural amphitheater around this space, their branches intertwining overhead to create a living cathedral. But it's what dances in the air above the clearing that truly captures your wonder. Fireflies. Hundreds of them, perhaps thousands, painting the twilight air with points of living light. They move without apparent pattern, yet there's something deeply harmonious about their dance. Each tiny light pulses with its own rhythm, yet together they create something that transcends any individual contribution. It's like watching the visible manifestation of what you're building. Each small effort, each decision, each moment of persistence, combining into something larger and more beautiful than its parts. You step into the clearing, and the soft grass welcomes your feet. The fireflies don't flee your presence. Instead, they seem to acknowledge it, their dance shifting subtly to include this new element in their ancient choreography. One drifts close enough that you can see its tiny form, no bigger than your fingernail, yet carrying within it the power to create light in darkness. As you stand in the center of this magical space, something extraordinary happens. The whispers you've been hearing throughout your journey into the forest begin to coalesce into something almost like words. Not quite human speech, but something your deeper mind recognizes and understands. Welcome, builder of dreams, the forest seems to say. Welcome, carrier of others' hopes. We have been expecting you. The voice is neither male nor female, neither young nor old. It's the voice of growing things, of patient strength, of wisdom earned through countless seasons of change. It's a voice that has spoken to other travelers who arrived here carrying similar burdens, seeking similar rest. You come to us weary, the voice continues, and you feel the truth of it in your bones. You have spent so long holding up what you're building that you've forgotten how to let yourself be held. But here, in this place between your world and ours, you can remember what it feels like to simply be. The fireflies pulse brighter for a moment, as if emphasizing the forest's words. Their light reflects in your eyes, and for the first time in longer than you can remember, those eyes are not focused on a screen or a spreadsheet or the middle distance of strategic planning. They're simply present, here, now, in this moment of unexpected magic. Rest here, the forest whispers. Let us show you what we have learned about growing strong without growing hard, about enduring without becoming brittle, about leading without losing yourself in the weight of leadership. The invitation hangs in the air like the fireflies themselves. Beautiful, ephemeral, yet somehow eternal. You feel yourself at another threshold, not unlike the one where you entered this ancient wood. Behind you lies the path back to your familiar burdens. Before you lies something you haven't allowed yourself in far too long. The possibility of genuine rest. Not the collapse of exhaustion, but the deep restoration that comes from remembering who you are beneath all the roles you play. The fireflies continue their dance, patient as starlight, as the forest waits for your answer. And the river of dreams. You take a step forward, drawn by something you cannot yet name. The fireflies part like a gentle curtain, their light trailing behind them in soft arcs, as if blessing your choice. The forest floor beneath your feet changes subtly. The moss grows softer, more yielding, and you notice the faint sound of something moving in the distance. Not the rustle of leaves or the whisper of wind, but something altogether more soothing. Water. The path winds deeper into this ancient sanctuary, and with each step, the sound grows clearer. It's not the rush of a waterfall or the crash of rapids, but the gentle, eternal murmur of a river that has flowed here since long before your great-grandmother's great-grandmother first drew breath. The kind of water that moves with purpose but without haste. Much like the leader you're learning to become, perhaps. As you round a bend marked by two towering oaks whose branches intertwine like old friends sharing secrets, you see it. The river of dreams stretches before you, perhaps 30 feet across, its surface catching and holding starlight as if the water itself were woven from liquid silver. The current moves with that perfect rhythm, not fast enough to create urgency, not slow enough to stagnate. Just the eternal, measured pulse of water finding its way home. Ah, whispers the forest voice, and you feel it more than hear it now, as if the words are forming in your chest rather than your ears. You found the heart of this place. Every soul who carries the weight you carry, every builder of dreams who lies awake, calculating and planning and worrying, eventually finds their way here. You move closer to the water's edge, where smooth stones worn by countless years create a natural seat. As you settle there, you notice how the mist rises from the river in gentle spirals, carrying with it the scent of night-blooming jasmine and something else. Something that reminds you of childhood summers, of a time when sleep came easily and tomorrow was an adventure rather than a battlefield of decisions. The water laps gently against the shore with a rhythm that seems to match your heartbeat. Or perhaps your heartbeat is beginning to match it. Each small wave catches the starlight and releases it, catches and releases like the breath you're only now realizing you've been holding for months. Tell me, the forest continues, its voice now seeming to come from the water itself. What have you been carrying that was never meant to be yours alone? The question settles around you like the mist. You think of the emails that follow you into sleep, the decisions that multiply in the dark hours, the weight of others' livelihoods resting on choices you make with incomplete information and insufficient time. The conversations you rehearse at 3 in the morning, the problems you solve in dreams only to wake and find them waiting, unsolved, on your nightstand with your phone. The river remembers everything, the voice explains gently. Every worry that has ever kept a leader awake, every burden that has ever bent a strong back, every fear that has ever whispered lies in the darkness. But here's what the river knows that you may have forgotten. Not all of these worries belong to you. Some are inherited fears, some are borrowed troubles, some are simply the mind's way of trying to control what cannot be controlled. You lean forward slightly, drawn by the hypnotic dance of light on water. In the river's surface, you begin to see images forming. Not clear like photographs, but gentle impressions, like memories viewed through gauze. You see yourself in your office, shoulders tight with tension you didn't even realize you were carrying. You see the moment you stopped eating lunch at a table and started eating it standing up, scrolling through reports. You see the gradual erosion of boundaries between work and rest, between necessary concern and destructive worry. The water will take what you're ready to release, the forest whispers. Not the responsibilities that are truly yours, not the vision that drives you, or the care you feel for what you're building, but the excess weight, the borrowed fears, the problems you're trying to solve that haven't even happened yet. A nightbird calls somewhere in the distance, its song pure and unhurried. The sound reminds you that there is a world that operates on rhythms older and deeper than quarterly reports and growth metrics. A world that understands the necessity of rest, the wisdom of cycles, the strength that comes from knowing when to act and when to simply be. You reach into your pocket, though you don't remember having pockets in these clothes, and find there a smooth stone, warm from your touch. Without being told, you understand. This stone can carry something for you. One worry, one fear, one burden that you're ready to let the river take. What comes to mind first surprises you. It's not the biggest crisis or the most urgent deadline. It's something smaller but more persistent. The voice that whispers you're not enough. The fear that you're making it up as you go along. That everyone else knows something you don't. That someday they'll all discover you're just a person trying their best with what they have. You hold the stone gently, feeling its weight. Such a small thing to carry such a large burden. I release the need to have all the answers, you whisper to the water, and your voice sounds different here. Younger somehow, more honest. I release the fear that uncertainty means failure. The stone leaves your hand in a gentle arc, and when it touches the water, the surface doesn't splash, but seems to embrace it, the ripples spreading outward in perfect circles that catch the starlight and carry it away downstream. You feel something lift from your chest. Not everything, but enough to remember that uncertainty is not weakness, but the very condition under which all courage operates. Well done, the forest murmurs, and you hear approval there, the kind you rarely give yourself. The river has carried that burden for thousands before you, and it will carry it for thousands yet to come. You are not the first to feel this way, and your struggles do not make you weak. They make you human. The mist continues to rise from the water, and in it you begin to see other figures, translucent, gentle, like memories of light. Other travelers who have sat where you sit now. Other leaders who have come to this place carrying weight they were never meant to bear alone. Some wear clothes from different eras, some carry tools you don't recognize, but in all their faces you see the same expression. The relief of setting down a burden, the peace of remembering that they are more than their responsibilities. Every generation of builders finds their way here eventually, the voice explains. The woman who started the first school in her village and worried she wasn't educated enough to teach. The man who opened his workshop to apprentices and feared he had nothing of value to pass on. The countless souls who looked at what they were creating and wondered if they were foolish to dream so large. You watch these gentle spirits for a moment, feeling a kinship that transcends time. They nod to you, not with pity for your struggles, but with recognition. The understanding that passes between those who have chosen to build rather than simply consume, to lead rather than simply follow, to plant trees whose shade they may never enjoy. As the figures fade back into the mist, you notice something else in the water. Not burdens this time, but dreams. Flowing just beneath the surface like schools of luminous fish, you see glimpses of what could be. The vision that first drove you to begin this work, before it got buried under the daily weight of execution. The joy you felt when you realized you could create something that hadn't existed before. The moment you understood that what you're building might outlast you, might touch lives you'll never know. This too the river carries, the forest says softly. Not just our fears and burdens, but our deepest hopes, the dreams that sustain us through the difficult seasons. The river connects all things. It takes what we cannot carry and returns what we have forgotten we need. You cup your hands and draw some of the river water toward you. It's surprisingly warm, and as it touches your lips, you taste something you haven't experienced in months. The simple pleasure of being present in a single moment without agenda or urgency. The water seems to carry with it the memory of rain on summer earth, of morning coffee savored rather than gulped, of conversations with no purpose other than connection. Rest here as long as you need, the voice says, growing softer now, more distant. The river flows through all time, and this moment, this peace, it belongs to you. It cannot be taken by deadlines or diminished by demands. It is yours to return to whenever you remember the way. The gentle lapping of water against stone continues its eternal rhythm, and you feel your breathing slow to match it. Your shoulders release tension you didn't know they held. The river flows on, carrying away what you've released and bringing you what you need. The simple, profound reminder that you are enough, exactly as you are, exactly where you are. The grove of whispering leaves. As the river's wisdom settles into your bones, you find yourself drawn deeper into the heart of this ancient place. The path ahead curves gently upward, winding between trees whose bark seems to shimmer with an inner light. Your footsteps make no sound on the soft earth, as if the forest itself cushions your journey. The air grows different here, warmer somehow, despite the cool night. There's a quality to it, that reminds you of childhood summers. Those long afternoons when time moved like honey and every moment felt infinite. You breathe it in, feeling something ease in your chest that's been tight for months. Ahead, the trees begin to part, revealing something extraordinary. A grove opens before you, circular and perfect, as if nature herself had drawn it with a careful hand. But it's not the shape that takes your breath away. It's the sound. Whispering, soft, gentle, like voices sharing secrets just beyond the edge of hearing. The leaves above you rustle with purpose, each movement deliberate and meaningful. You step into the grove's embrace, and the whispering grows clearer. Not louder, but more present, as if the very air is alive with stories. The trees here are ancient beyond measure. Their trunks rise like cathedral pillars, smooth and silver in the moonlight. Their canopy spreads wide above you, creating a living dome of leaves that catch and hold the starlight. Each leaf seems to glow with its own soft luminescence, green and gold and silver, shifting gently in a breeze you can barely feel. You move to the center of the grove, where a circle of moss-covered stones creates a natural seat. As you settle onto the soft cushion of earth and moss, the whispering intensifies, not overwhelming, but welcoming, like old friends gathering to share their wisdom. Listen, the grove seems to say. Listen to what we've learned. And so you do. You close your eyes and let the whispers wash over you. Gradually, impossibly, you begin to understand. Each rustle carries meaning. Each gentle susurrus holds a story. The leaves are speaking, and they're speaking to you. A maple leaf, broad and golden, tells you of seasons. I have watched 100 autumns, it whispers. I have felt the urgency of spring, the fullness of summer, the quiet wisdom of winter. Each season believes it will last forever. Each season is necessary. The builder who forgets this burns bright and brief. You feel the truth of it settle in your chest. How often have you lived as if this season of building, of striving, of carrying the weight, how often have you lived as if it would never change? The leaf's wisdom reminds you that even this intensity, this pressure you carry, is temporary. Necessary perhaps, but not eternal. A willow's trailing branch brushes your shoulder, and its leaves sing of flexibility. See how I bend, but do not break, they murmur. The rigid oak may seem stronger, but I dance with every storm. The wise leader learns when to stand firm and when to yield. You think of the decisions that keep you awake, the times you've held too tightly to plans that needed to change, to people who needed space to grow. The willow's lesson flows through you like cool water. Strength isn't always about holding on. Sometimes it's about knowing when to let go. An ancient oak speaks next, its leaves deep green and enduring. I have stood here for 3 centuries, it rumbles, its voice like distant thunder. I have watched empires rise and fall, watched humans build and dream and worry. Do you know what I've learned? The things that last are not the things that shout loudest or grow fastest. They are the things that grow deep roots. You feel your breathing deepen as this wisdom settles into you. In a world that celebrates the quick victory, the viral moment, the overnight success, the oak reminds you of what truly endures, the relationships you nurture, the values you hold, the quiet, consistent work of building something meaningful. A young birch, slender and bright, adds its voice to the chorus. I am not yet wise with age, it admits, but I know the joy of reaching toward light. Every day I stretch a little higher, not because I must, but because growth is my nature. The burden you carry, does it help you grow toward light, or does it bend you toward shadow? The question hangs in the air like morning mist. You consider the weight you've been carrying, the responsibilities, the expectations, the pressure. Some of it, you realize, has indeed helped you grow. It's taught you resilience, compassion, the ability to make difficult decisions. But some of it has been bending you away from the light of your original vision. A cluster of aspen leaves shimmer together, their voices blending like a gentle choir. We are many, Pitiini, but we are one, they sing. Our roots intertwine beneath the earth. What strengthens one strengthens all. The leader who tries to stand alone forgets the forest. You feel a warmth spread through you as you remember the people who believe in what you're building. Not just your team, though they matter deeply, but the broader network of support that surrounds you. The mentors who've shared their wisdom, the friends who've listened to your fears, the family who love you not for what you achieve, but for who you are. A pine speaks next, its voice steady and sure. I am evergreen, it says simply. While others change with seasons, I remain. But do not mistake consistency for rigidity. My needles fall and renew themselves. My branches bend with snow. The wise leader knows what to hold constant and what to let evolve. This resonates deeply. You think about your core values, the fundamental reasons you started building what you're building. Those can remain evergreen, constant through all seasons. But the methods, the strategies, even some of the goals, those can change and grow as you learn and adapt. A flowering dogwood adds its gentle voice, petals drifting down like snow in the starlight. Beauty matters, it whispers. Not vanity, not show, but true beauty. The beauty of work done with care, the beauty of treating people with dignity, the beauty of creating something that makes the world a little brighter. Do not let efficiency kill beauty. Do not let urgency blind you to wonder. You breathe in the sweet scent of the blossoms and feel something tight in your chest begin to loosen. When did you last pause to appreciate the beauty in what you're building? When did you last feel wonder at the simple miracle of bringing something new into existence? The whispers continue, each leaf sharing its particular wisdom. A sturdy elm speaks of community and shelter. A graceful cherry tells of the power of brief, perfect moments. A wise old chestnut shares stories of resilience after devastation. Each voice adds to the symphony of understanding that flows through you. But gradually, you realize the leaves are not just sharing their own stories. They're reflecting yours back to you. In their whispers, you hear echoes of your own journey, the seasons you've weathered, the storms you've bent with rather than broken against, the growth you've achieved, sometimes in directions you never expected. A young leaf, barely unfurled, speaks with surprising clarity. I am just beginning, it says. I do not know what seasons await me, but I am not afraid, because I am connected to something larger than myself. I am part of the tree, and the tree is part of the forest, and the forest is part of the earth. Nothing I do is truly alone. You feel tears prick your eyes as this simple truth washes over you. The isolation you sometimes feel, the weight of decisions that seem to rest on your shoulders alone. It's an illusion. You are connected to something larger. Every person whose life you touch through your work, every problem you solve, every dream you help bring to reality. It's all part of a vast, interconnected web of human endeavor. The whispers begin to blend together now, creating a gentle symphony of wisdom. You don't try to catch every word, every story. Instead, you let the overall message flow through you like a healing stream. You are part of something beautiful and ancient and ongoing. Your struggles are not unique, but they are meaningful. Your work matters, but it does not define your worth. The grove holds you in its embrace, and you feel yourself sinking deeper into peace. The leaves continue their gentle conversation above you, but now it feels less like instruction and more like companionship. You are not alone in this place. You are not alone in your journey. As you rest in the center of the grove, surrounded by centuries of accumulated wisdom, you feel a shift in your understanding. The weight you carry. It doesn't have to be a burden. It can be a connection. Every responsibility is a thread that links you to others. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow deeper roots. The whispers grow softer now, more rhythmic, like a lullaby sung by the forest itself. You feel your eyelids growing heavy, not with exhaustion, but with contentment. Here, surrounded by the gentle wisdom of the grove, you remember what it feels like to simply be, without agenda, without urgency, without the need to prove or achieve or overcome. You are enough. The grove whispers this truth in 1,000 gentle voices. You have always been enough. What you're building matters, but it is not more important than your peace. Your success will be measured not just in what you achieve, but in how you achieve it. With grace, with connection, with respect for the seasons of growth and rest. The leaves rustle one final message as you settle deeper into the grove's embrace. Rest now, builder of dreams. Let the forest hold your worries for a while. Tomorrow's challenges will still be there when you wake, but you will meet them with the wisdom of deep roots and the flexibility of branches that know how to dance with the wind. The guardian of slumber. The ancient wisdom settles around you like a gentle cloak, and as the grove's whispers fade to the softest murmur, you notice something changing in the quality of light filtering through the canopy above. The golden warmth begins to shift, becoming something softer, more ethereal. Silver threads of moonlight start to weave between the leaves, even though moments ago it felt like afternoon in this timeless place. You close your eyes, feeling the solid earth beneath you, the weight you carry finally beginning to lift from your shoulders. But when you open them again, you're no longer alone in the grove. Standing at the edge of the clearing, where shadow meets silver light, is a figure of such gentle presence that your breath catches not in alarm, but in wonder. The guardian of slumber moves toward you with footsteps that make no sound on the forest floor. They seem to be woven from the very essence of peaceful nights, their form shifting between solid and ethereal, like moonlight on water, like the first gentle moments of drifting towards sleep. Their face holds the kindness of 1,000 restful nights, and their eyes carry the deep tranquility of those precious hours when the world finally grows quiet. "I have been waiting for you," the guardian says, and their voice is like silk drawn across still water. "I felt your restlessness from across the realms of dream and waking. The forest called to me, told me of a builder of dreams who needed what only I can offer." You find yourself relaxing even further, muscles you didn't realize were tense beginning to release. The guardian settles beside you with fluid grace, and you notice they carry with them a small vessel that seems to capture and hold the very essence of moonbeams. The container appears to be carved from pearl or perhaps crystallized starlight, and within it something luminous swirls gently. "What you've built in the waking world," the guardian continues, their voice a soothing cadence, "requires such strength, such constant vigilance, the decisions that rest on your shoulders, the people who depend on what you're creating, the weight of dreams made manifest." They pause, and in that pause you feel seen in a way that goes deeper than words. But here, in this moment, you can set all of that down. The guardian opens the pearl vessel, and the most exquisite fragrance drifts toward you. It smells like rain on summer evenings, like the air just before dawn, like the memory of your deepest, most peaceful sleep. "This," they say softly, "is balm made from moonlight and morning dew. It carries within it the essence of every restful night that ever was or ever will be." From somewhere in their flowing robes, the guardian produces a brush so soft it seems to be made from captured clouds. They dip it gently into the luminous balm, and the bristles seem to glow with their own inner light. "May I?" they ask, and something in their tone makes you understand this is about more than a simple gesture. This is about allowing yourself to truly receive care. You nod, and the guardian begins to apply the balm to your temples with touches so gentle they feel like whispered promises. The moment the luminous substance touches your skin, warmth spreads through you. Not the heat of exertion or stress, but the deep, nurturing warmth of absolute safety. It's as if every cell in your body remembers what it feels like to be completely at peace. Or, "Feel how it soothes," the guardian murmurs, the brush moving in slow, hypnotic circles. "This balm has been blessed by 1,000 peaceful nights. It carries the dreams of those who sleep without worry, the rest of children safe in their beds, the deep slumber of those who know they are loved and protected." The guardian's touch moves to your forehead, and with each gentle stroke, you feel layers of tension you didn't even know you carried beginning to dissolve. The weight of tomorrow's meetings, the calculations running endless loops in your mind, the decisions waiting to be made, all of it begins to feel distant, manageable, held safely in tomorrow's capable hands. "In the waking world, you are the one who protects," the guardian continues, their voice becoming even softer, more melodious. "You shield others from uncertainty. You carry burdens so they don't have to. You make the difficult choices so others can sleep peacefully. But who protects the protector? Who guards the guardian?" The brush moves along your jawline now, and you feel muscles you've held tight for months finally beginning to release. "Tonight," the guardian whispers, "I am your guardian. Tonight you are held and protected. Tonight you can let someone else keep watch while you rest." They dip the brush again, and this time, when they apply the balm to your neck and shoulders, you feel as though liquid starlight is flowing through your veins. The guardian's touch is infinitely patient, infinitely kind. There's no rush, no agenda, no expectation, just this moment of pure, nurturing care. "The moonlight in this balm," the guardian explains, their voice taking on an almost hypnotic quality, "was gathered on the quietest nights, when the world held its breath in perfect stillness. And the dew, each drop was collected at that magical moment just before dawn, when the earth itself is dreaming. You find your breathing naturally slowing, deepening, matching the rhythm of the guardian's gentle ministrations. The luminous balm seems to be working from the outside in, carrying its peace deeper and deeper into your being. Your eyelids grow heavy, but not with the exhaustion you know so well, with the sweet, natural heaviness that comes when the body finally feels safe enough to truly rest. There, the guardian says softly, setting aside the brush and closing the pearl vessel. Now the balm will work its way through your entire being. It will find every place where stress has taken hold, every muscle that carries tomorrow's worries, every thought that circles without resolution, and it will gently, lovingly help them all release. The guardian settles more comfortably beside you, their presence a constant source of comfort. You know, they say, their voice now barely above a whisper, in all my years of tending to those who carry great responsibilities, I've learned something important. The strongest leaders, the ones who build things that truly last, they're not the ones who never rest. They're the ones who understand that rest itself is a form of strength. You feel yourself sinking deeper into the soft earth of the grove, the ancient trees standing sentinel around you, the guardian's peaceful presence wrapping around you like the softest blanket. The balm continues its gentle work, and you realize that for the first time in longer than you can remember, your mind isn't racing ahead to tomorrow's challenges. Sleep, the guardian whispers, and the word itself seems to carry magical properties. Sleep deeply, knowing that you are watched over. Sleep peacefully, trusting that tomorrow's strength will be there when you need it. Sleep completely, allowing every part of you to rest and restore. The silver moonlight filtering through the leaves grows softer still, and you feel the guardian's hand resting gently on your shoulder. A touch that promises protection, that whispers of safety, that speaks of rest so deep and restorative that you will wake renewed in ways you'd forgotten were possible. I will be here, the guardian murmurs, their voice becoming part of the gentle symphony of the night forest, watching over your dreams, guarding your rest, ensuring that nothing disturbs the peace you found in this sacred grove. The luminous balm pulses gently with your heartbeat now, its warmth spreading through every fiber of your being. And as the guardian begins to hum a melody so soft and soothing, it seems to come from the very heart of tranquility itself, you feel yourself finally, completely, gratefully surrendering to the deep, healing embrace of true rest. The last thing you're aware of is the guardian's whispered promise. Rest now, builder of dreams. Let the moonlight balm work its magic. Let the forest hold you in its ancient embrace. Tomorrow will come, as it always does, but tonight is for peace. Dream weaving, and with that whispered promise settling into your very bones, you feel yourself drifting like a leaf carried on the gentlest of evening breezes. The guardian's presence remains close, a warm sentinel watching over your descent into dreams. But now something new begins to unfold around you. The forest clearing transforms, its edges softening and blurring like watercolors bleeding into silk. The ancient trees fade into a gentle haze of green and gold, and you find yourself floating towards something beautiful and welcoming. The transition is seamless, like stepping from one room into another in a house you've always known. You emerge into a meadow that seems to exist in the space between sleeping and waking, between thought and feeling. This is not the wild forest you've traveled through, but something altogether more gentle, more nurturing. The grass beneath you is impossibly soft, each blade like silk against your skin, and it seems to glow with its own inner light, as if moonbeams have taken root and grown into something living and kind. The meadow stretches before you in rolling waves of luminous green, dotted with flowers that seem to have been painted by dreams themselves. There are blooms here that exist nowhere in the waking world. Petals that shimmer with colors that have no names, flowers that chime softly in harmonies when the breeze touches them, blossoms that release fragrances of pure comfort and peace. You realize, with a deep sense of wonder, that this is your dreamscape. This is the place where your mind comes to weave together all the threads of rest and restoration. And you are not alone here. For the forest voice, that ancient wisdom that has guided you through this night, speaks now with even greater tenderness. Welcome, it whispers, and the words seem to come from the very air around you. Welcome to the meadow of dreams. Here, in this sacred space, we weave together the tapestry of your rest. Here, every breath brings healing. Every moment brings renewal. You find yourself walking slowly through this dream meadow, and with each step, you feel the weight you've carried. All those responsibilities, all those decisions, all those moments of doubt, transforming into something lighter. The burdens don't disappear entirely, but they become like seeds scattered on fertile ground, ready to grow into something beautiful when the time is right. A gentle breeze moves through the meadow, carrying with it the most exquisite fragrances. There's the scent of lavender and chamomile, yes, but also something more. The smell of rain on summer earth, the sweetness of honey and warm milk, the clean freshness of morning air after a peaceful night's sleep. Each breath you take fills you with deeper calm, deeper rest. The voice continues, weaving words like golden threads through the fabric of your dream. See how the flowers here grow without struggle, without forcing, without the constant push and strain you've known. They simply are. They trust in the soil, in the rain, in the sun. They know that growth comes not from endless effort, but from deep rest and patient trust. And as you look around the meadow, you begin to see that each flower represents something beautiful in your life. That cluster of silver blossoms, those are the moments of quiet satisfaction when you've helped someone, when you've built something meaningful. Those golden blooms swaying gently in the breeze. They're the dreams you still carry, the visions that first called you to build and create and lead. You notice a small stream running through the meadow, its water so clear it seems to be made of liquid starlight. This is not the rushing river where you released your burdens earlier. This is something gentler, more intimate, a brook of pure peace, flowing with the rhythm of your own heartbeat, carrying nothing but clarity and calm. You kneel beside the stream and see your reflection in its surface. But this is not the tired, stressed face you might expect to see. This is you as you truly are, beneath all the weight and worry. You as the dreamer, the builder, the one who dares to imagine better things into existence. Your reflection smiles back at you with genuine warmth and approval. You see yourself truly now, the forest voice murmurs, not as the one who carries impossible burdens, but as the one who chooses to care deeply. Not as the one who must have all the answers, but as the one brave enough to ask the important questions. This is who you are in the deepest truth of yourself. The reflection in the stream reaches up toward you, and as your fingers touch the water's surface, ripples of golden light spread outward. Each ripple carries with it a gentle affirmation, a truth your tired mind needs to hear. The first ripple whispers, "What you're building matters." Even when you can't see the full picture, even when progress feels slow, you are creating something of value in this world. The second ripple murmurs, "You are enough. Your efforts are enough. Your care is enough. You don't need to be perfect to be worthy of rest and peace." The third ripple sighs, "Tomorrow will bring what it brings, and you will meet it with wisdom and strength. But tonight is for this perfect peace." You rise from the stream and continue walking through the dream meadow. And now you notice that the flowers are beginning to weave themselves together, creating a living tapestry of color and light around you. This is the dream weaving itself, taking all the scattered threads of your thoughts, your hopes, your experiences, and creating something beautiful and whole. Some threads are golden. These are your moments of joy, your successes, your times of clear vision and purpose. Some threads are silver. These are the lessons learned through challenge, the wisdom gained through difficulty, the strength discovered in moments when you thought you had none left. Even the darker threads, the times of doubt, the moments of fear, the weight of responsibility. Even these are woven into the tapestry with care and purpose. They provide depth and contrast, making the golden and silver threads shine even brighter. Nothing is wasted, nothing is without meaning. This is how dreams work, the voice explains, with infinite gentleness. They take all the fragments of your experience and weave them into something that serves your rest, your healing, your renewal. Your mind knows how to do this work. You need only trust the process. You find yourself lying down now, in the heart of the meadow, surrounded by this living tapestry of dreams. The grass beneath you is softer than any bed you've ever known, and the flowers lean in close, their gentle fragrances creating the perfect atmosphere for the deepest rest. Above you, the sky is a canvas of the softest twilight colors, deep purple fading to rose, rose fading to gold, gold fading to the palest blue. Stars are beginning to appear, but these are not ordinary stars. Each one represents a dream fulfilled, a goal achieved, a moment when you made a difference in someone's life. The forest voice speaks now in the rhythm of a lullaby, weaving together all the wisdom you've gathered on this journey through the night. Rest now in this meadow of dreams. Let the flowers sing you to sleep with their gentle melodies. Let the stream carry away any last whispers of worry. Let the tapestry of your dreams wrap around you like the softest blanket. Remember that you are held, held by the earth beneath you, held by the sky above you, held by all the good you've done and all the love you've shared. You are part of something vast and beautiful, and your rest serves not just yourself, but everyone whose lives you touch. In your dreams tonight, may you remember your own strength. May you see clearly the beauty of what you're building. May you feel deeply the peace that is always available to you. Even in the midst of your busiest days, the flowers around you begin to glow more softly now, their light pulsing gently in rhythm with your breathing. Each exhale releases a little more tension, a little more worry. Each inhale brings deeper peace, deeper trust in the process of rest and renewal. Sleep now, the voice whispers, growing fainter as you sink deeper into the dream meadow's embrace. Sleep and dream of all the beautiful things waiting to unfold. Dream of the difference you're making. Dream of the peace that lives at the center of your being, no matter what storms may rage around you. And as you settle deeper into this sacred space of dreams, you feel the meadow itself beginning to sleep around you. The flowers close their petals gently, like hands folding in prayer. The stream slows to the gentlest murmur. The stars dim to the softest glow. Everything in this place of dreams is designed for your perfect rest. Everything here serves your healing, your renewal, your return to the deep well of strength and wisdom that lives within you. Here, in this woven tapestry of peaceful dreams, you are exactly where you need to be. The last thing you're aware of is the feeling of absolute safety, absolute peace, absolute trust in the process of rest and renewal that your body and mind know how to perform so perfectly when you simply allow them to do their ancient healing work. Waking refreshed. And in this perfect sanctuary of dreams, your body performs its most essential work, the quiet miracle of restoration that happens in these precious hours of surrender, where every cell renews itself, every thought settles into its proper place, and every burden transforms into the wisdom that will guide you forward. The tapestry of peaceful dreams continues to weave itself around you, each thread a moment of perfect rest, each color a shade of the tranquility that flows through your being, like the gentlest of rivers. And as the night deepens, as the hours pass in their quiet procession, something beautiful begins to happen in the space between sleeping and waking. The first whisper of dawn doesn't disturb your rest. It enhances it, like a soft golden thread being woven into the fabric of your dreams. The forest voice, that ancient presence that has guided you through this journey of release and renewal, begins to gather its gifts, preparing to send you back to your world with everything you need. Rest now, it whispers, and the words seem to come from everywhere and nowhere. From the rustling leaves above, from the gentle stream that flows through your dreams, from the very air that surrounds you in this sacred space. Let the last of the night's healing work complete itself. Let every part of you remember what it feels like to be truly, deeply restored. And you do rest. So completely, so thoroughly, that when the gentle stirring of morning consciousness begins to touch the edges of your awareness, it feels like the most natural awakening you've ever experienced. Not jarring, not sudden, not filled with the immediate rush of tomorrow's demands, but soft, gradual, like a flower opening to the first light of day. Your body feels different, renewed in ways you had almost forgotten were possible. The weight that seemed so permanent, so much a part of who you had become, has transformed overnight into something else entirely, into strength, into wisdom, into the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. The dream meadow begins to shimmer at the edges, not disappearing, but rather expanding, becoming part of you, woven into your very being, so that you can carry its peace with you always. The glowing flowers that surrounded you in sleep seem to bloom now in your chest, in your heart, filling you with a warmth that will sustain you through whatever challenges await. You are ready, the forest voice says, and there's such tenderness in those words, such recognition of the journey you've taken through this night of healing. You carry with you now everything you discovered here, the memory of how it feels to release what doesn't serve you, the wisdom of the ancient trees, the protection of the guardian, and the peace of perfect rest. As consciousness gently returns, you become aware of your physical body again. But it's different now, refreshed in ways that seem almost miraculous after the exhaustion you carried into this space. Your muscles feel relaxed yet energized, your mind clear yet peaceful, your heart open yet protected by the invisible armor of deep rest. The fireflies that danced around you at the beginning of this journey seem to dance now in your peripheral vision, not as external lights, but as sparks of inspiration that have taken up residence in your imagination. Reminders that magic exists, that wonder is always available, that even in the most demanding days ahead, you can remember this feeling of lightness and possibility. You stretch gently, feeling the luxurious sensation of a body that has been truly restored. And as you do, you realize that something fundamental has shifted. The anxiety that used to greet you each morning, the immediate flood of worries and calculations and urgent priorities, they're still there, but they're different somehow. Manageable. Part of the natural rhythm of building something meaningful rather than overwhelming forces that threaten to drown you. Take with you the knowing, the forest voice continues, its tone now like that of a beloved mentor offering final wisdom before a long journey, that you are never alone in what you're building. The river of all who have walked this path before you flows through your dreams now. Their strength is your strength, their wisdom is your wisdom, their courage lives in your courage. The morning light grows stronger, but it doesn't chase away the magic. It illuminates it, makes it part of the ordinary world in the most extraordinary way. You realize that the peace you found here isn't separate from your daily life. It's the foundation upon which everything else can be built more sustainably, more joyfully, more aligned with who you truly are beneath all the roles and responsibilities. Your breathing deepens naturally, not with the effort of trying to relax, but with the easy rhythm of someone who has remembered how to inhabit their own body with complete comfort. Each breath carries with it the essence of the forest, the wisdom of the trees, the flowing peace of the mystical river where you released so much that was ready to be let go. And remember, the voice says, growing fainter now as the boundary between dream and waking becomes gossamer thin, that this place exists always within you. Whenever the weight becomes too heavy, whenever the path seems unclear, whenever you need to remember who you are beneath everything you do, close your eyes and find the hidden path back to this clearing, back to this river, back to this grove of ancient wisdom. You feel yourself smiling, a genuine expression of contentment that starts somewhere deep in your chest and spreads outward like ripples on still water. When was the last time you woke with a smile? When was the last time the prospect of the day ahead felt like an adventure rather than an endurance test? The guardian of slumber seems to brush one last gentle touch across your forehead, a final blessing, a seal upon the work that has been done in these hours of healing rest. You are protected, comes the whisper, by your own wisdom, by your own strength, by your own deep knowing of what matters most. As full consciousness returns, you carry with you not just the memory of peace, but peace itself, woven now into your very being, like golden threads through fabric, strengthening everything, beautifying everything, making even the most ordinary moments shimmer with possibility. The forest begins to fade from your immediate awareness, but you know it's not gone. It's simply taken up residence in that part of you that remembers wonder, that knows how to find stillness in the midst of motion, that can access deep wisdom even in the middle of the most challenging days. Go well, the voice offers as its final gift, builder of dreams, carrier of hopes, leader of the future that only you can create. Go with the knowledge that you are enough, that what you're building matters, that the world is better for your efforts, and that rest is not the enemy of progress but its most essential partner. You open your eyes fully now, returning completely to the waking world, but you are not the same person who closed them hours ago in exhaustion and overwhelm. You are renewed, restored, reconnected to the deep well of strength and wisdom that was always there, waiting patiently beneath the surface noise of daily demands for you to remember how to access it. The day ahead stretches before you like an open road through beautiful countryside, still requiring effort, still presenting challenges, but no longer feeling like an impossible mountain to climb. You have tools now that you didn't have before, the memory of release, the wisdom of patience, the knowledge that you are part of something much larger and more magnificent than your individual struggles. And as you prepare to rise and meet whatever awaits, you carry with you the most precious gift of all, the absolute certainty that tonight, when your body and mind are ready for rest, you know the way back to this place of perfect peace, this sanctuary of renewal that exists always within you. This magical forest where the weight you carry transforms into the wings that help you soar.